Louisiana set to ban the teaching of racism. Yeah, let's put them up. You're looking at the Republican Party chairman of Louisiana, Chairman Louis Gervich. The GOP Party officials in the state, they want Louisiana lawmakers to prohibit the study of racism at all colleges and universities, claiming the, and I quote, inglorious aspects of American history are too divisive, according to NOLA.com, which cites a GOP resolution on the matter. I want to take you down memory lane for just a moment. Remember the first day I came on this show and I said, critical race theory is not about banning critical race theory. All of these anti-CRT bills do not ban critical race theory, because critical race theory is taught in less than 1% of collegiate curriculum, and it is not taught at all in K through 12 education. When you actually read the bill, each bill banned a teacher's ability to actually teach a historical lesson rooted in a racial dynamic, whatever that racial dynamic may be. It was to stop analytical thinking. It was to stop critical thought, not critical race theory. It was to restrict a teacher's ability to actually bring you a full lesson about the reality of this country's origin. Now, they're saying the quiet part out loud. They would like to ban the entire teaching of racism. Think about how silly that is. If you ban the teaching of racism, some of you may say, well, that may be a good idea, Doc. I mean, we can now focus on things like unity. You really think so? If they ban racism, how do you now teach Dr. King? If you ban racism, how do you teach Gandhi? If you ban racism, how do you teach the civil rights movement in America? As a matter of fact, if you ban the teaching of racism, how can you ever understand the true origins of America? There's more. The state GOP leadership also wants to nix diversity, equity, and inclusion departments at all colleges, all universities, claiming without evidence that such agencies stir political tensions on campuses and have overgenerous budgets, according to NOLA.com. A third of Louisiana residents are Black, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. A spokesperson for the Republican Party of Louisiana, which lauds limited government and the rights of the people, did not immediately respond to insiders' request for comment on Sunday. Now, I want you to be reminded, the same individuals who are saying, let's get rid of diversity inclusion departments, let's get rid of diversity executives, because they stir political tensions. Well, I guarantee you nothing like the political tension that was stirred when terrorists tried to overthrow the United States government, enforce a rule of law not congruent to our rule of law. That is permissible to many of these Republicans. Don't dare talk about racism. There's more. All right, so Louisiana GOP, really interesting. The effort comes as dozens of states have proposed legislation that would prohibit diversity, equity, and inclusion offices. Just think about this. There's a movement to eliminate positions to help integrate our society in racial context. So they want to prohibit DEI offices and training, diversity statements they would like to prohibit. Statements that say, hey, we're diverse and we appreciate diversity. They want to prohibit that, make that illegal. There's more. And identity preferences in hiring and admissions. They want to get rid of identity preferences in hiring and admissions. The Republican effort follows an attempt to stop the teaching of critical race theory, which as a legal approach taught largely in graduate schools, and policies that address race in general form various aspects, general from various aspects of public life. Let me go back to an interesting dynamic that I want to highlight for the record. As a professor, I'm well aware of what this actually means. If you get rid of your identity dynamics as it relates to admissions inside of an institution, but that means it becomes illegal to ask, what race are you? Let me tell you why that part is important. You see, students that connect to a college, they're not connecting to that college just because of their academic prowess. You are more than an academic summary. You are a whole human being. Where you come from, what you have overcome, the aspects of your recreational life, as well as your leadership life, what you volunteer to do. These things are important to us. These things are important to the campus culture. And it is up to the college campus what kind of culture they would like to connect with. And they go after students who uphold the values of that culture based on how the board of trustees sees it. This would eliminate any approach that would allow for that cultural dynamic. By law, it would eliminate it. There's more. That drew a response from the University of Louisiana system president, okay? Jim Henderson, who said the claims in the GOP resolution were, and I quote, so foreign to the reality of our institutions, it defies comment, according to a statement shared with insiders. So the college president said, this is so damn insane, it really defies a comment being required. That is it. What's happening? A retelling of the narrative? You know, history has always been what it is. His story. They're rewriting it right in front of you. They're not waiting 20 years, 50 years, 100 years to tell you a different tale. They're doing it in real time, knowing that members of the media will pick up on it. Some will simply report it as if it is fact. What is this truly about? This is about the future problem solvers of America not knowing what the real problem is. They are afraid of the emerging generation of leaders coming out of high schools and colleges all over this country, because we have universally concluded that the actions of those who founded this nation, the actions of the early settlers, the actions of those who were leaders during Jim Crow were morally wrong. And because we have universally said this now, the problem solvers to correct what they did are currently in the classrooms that they are trying to control. That is why no matter what contract I sign with colleges I teach at, I require that they allow me to teach at least 2 classes per semester, regardless of if I'm a dean or director, because it is important for people who are conscious to be inside of classrooms. Sharon, thoughts on this?
Wow. And I wonder, and you're highly sought after, how soon your contracts, you'll have to require them to allow you to tell the truth.
Exactly.
How soon before we can just check the racism box?
Yep.
Just check the box of racism. Just say what it is, man. And we can all just acknowledge it at least. Can we start there, Doc?
Yep. I mean, if they want to have an honest conversation, the real is this. They don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They don't want to be uncomfortable. This is not about them not feeling included or them being embarrassed or ashamed or guilty. If they felt guilt, Sharon, they would actually try to help. This is about them not wanting to feel uncomfortable. All right, wow. We will follow up on this story as it develops.